takes me back, you know.
Hey, what is happening, everybody? It's your old pal Mr. Butter coming back at you. Today I want to get into a pair of kicks that really caught my attention as soon as I saw them. I haven't seen anything on these shoes, but I think they're really interesting. I think it's a great pair for this summer, and I can't wait to get into them with y'all. If you're into kicks and you feel like hanging out, then hit that subscribe button. Let's take a look at these Reebok Club C 85 pumps. So recently Reebok has been doing this thing where they mash up two silhouettes into one. I don't even recall what the other ones were. I think they did it with some Shaqs, maybe some Questions, or Iversons or whatever, but none of them really caught my attention. I get emails from Reebok whenever they do new releases or whatever, like I signed up to get a certain percentage off, so now I just always get emails from them. But when I saw this pair, there was no hesitation. They definitely grabbed my attention. This time they combined the Club C 85, which was from 1985, with the Reebok pump. I was never really into the Club C's, but the Reebok pump, when I was a kid, that was as big as Jordans at a time, maybe even bigger than Jordans to me, just because the tech seemed so unbelievable and out of this world. But anyhow, I'm really pumped about this pair. The box is standard, red, white, and blue. It's pretty much like the GR Reebok box, nothing fancy about that. The tag reads Club C 85 pump. I'm not sure what all the colors are. There at the bottom I can tell footwear white, then there's some sort of green. On the website, I think they were referring to these as Citron. And enough of that boring box talk. Have a look at these beauties. Even though this is two silhouettes mashed together, it works. It doesn't look like this was forced or like this is something wonky that doesn't work. I think these came together really well. And if I didn't know better, I would just assume that this was some other kind of pump that I had never seen before. But I really like these. I'm a big fan of an all-white shoe ever since Air Force Ones back in the day. I don't really wear plain white Air Force Ones anymore, but there was a time that was obviously a staple, and really ever since then I do like having an all-white shoe in the rotation. There's just nothing like having a really clean all-white pair for in the summertime. But anyhow, I think these are great. I love the shape of them. They're not real big and bulky. A lot of times that's what I associate pumps with. I just think, they're pretty big and clunky, and that's not a bad thing. That's not me trying to, put them down or anything. Pretty much all the pumps that I have are on these Zone 2s, and they just tend to be really big and bulky. But these are nice and sleek. They almost have the shape more of like a Jordan 1 low or something, but then they've got that pump on the tongue. And I just think these things came out beautifully. I'm really liking that green and that neon yellow, or that tennis ball color that we have for the pump. I think that's dope too. It really takes me back. It gives me that nostalgia, even though this is a shoe that we've never seen before. It looks like for the outsole and then the midsole, they gave us like a sail rubber color. But the tread pattern is really nothing too fancy. It's got a pivot point up in the front, and then it almost looks like fish scales going down there. But we've got some Reebok branding in the midfoot. It's all just one color, but it's clean enough. Nothing really fancy or out of the ordinary about that. And then as we come up, we see a little bit of Reebok branding there on the side, and it's that same rubber that we had down for the outsole. But up here on the midsole, it's got all these little bumps, almost like an outdoor basketball would. But it looks nice and clean. Looks like the stitching is all sail in color, and they actually gave us real stitching, which I'm a fan of. That's one thing that I don't like about on these Zone 2s now, is they put like fake stitching, like it's just pressed into the rubber. And I don't understand why they do that. I would rather them just not have anything at all than have like fake stitching in there. I just think that's so silly looking. But we have real stitching on these, which I'm a big fan of. And then on the inside of the shoe, these came out around the same time that the Forum 84s did. And those Form 84s have foam in the midfoot, but it's got that Dillinger webbing going over top of it. This just has a plain foam. But you can see it's from that same era, the same kind of idea, but this just doesn't have the netting over top of it. I like sail midsoles because they don't show dirt and that stuff as much, but I know a lot of people get turned off by that. So let me know what you think of the sail midsoles on these. And then as we get up to the upper of the shoe, it's just a plain white leather. It does have a synthetic feel. This material feels slightly better than what we get on like Dunks or Jordan mids or Jordan lows that aren't OGs and that sort of thing. It definitely has a synthetic feel, but it looks nice and clean. And these were really affordable. I think they were $110, maybe $120. They were right around that $100 price point, and I don't mind the material that we got on these. It isn't anything, you know, genuine, and it's not really premium feeling or anything like that. But like I said, it does feel better than what Nike gives us on Dunks and Jordan mids and that sort of thing. We've got some little perforations there in the toe box. Then we've got some Reebok branding embroidered in there in green. It's like a Kelly tire green. I think that looks nice. And then as we come back to the back of the shoes, we've got some Reebok branding, and then it says the pump, and that's in that tennis ball or highlighter color. I think that looks dope. Looks like we got some flat white laces in these. That's all it came with. I would just keep them as is because I like how bright white looks. And then we've got a bright white tongue. That's kind of like a satin material down at the bottom. But then at the top you have this rubberized feeling material, and that's white. But then we have the pump button up at top, and of course you pump that up to inflate the shoe, and then you press this to deflate the shoe. It seems like the airbags are only in the tongue on this shoe, and the tongue is extra wide, so it kind of wraps down around the side of your foot, so that then whenever you fill this up with air, it fills these airbags up, and then it gives you a customized fit. It kind of locks down onto your feet. But I did a short of these, and I was really impressed with the fact that they actually do pump up with air. So I'll go ahead and do that again, let y'all hear it. I love hearing that sound of whenever the air is released in these things. It takes me back. But this pump button is in that highlighter yellow. It's got green, the pump branding on it. And below that, you can see that the tongue says Reebok and Club C on the tongue as well. I think this shoe just fits together so well. I really, really like the look of it. And I think this is a great shoe for summertime. It's affordable, it's easy to get. They're still sitting on the Reebok website. I think for now they only had 2 colors of these. They had this, and then they had a red, white, and blue pair. I liked them both, but there was just something about this neon yellow that took me back. Hopefully y'all heard that. That wasn't too extreme or anything, but you could definitely hear the air coming out of it. Typically, I always go true to size on my Reebok pumps, but since this is a silhouette that I've never had before, I'm going to go ahead and throw these on and just let you know how they feel and give you any type of sizing suggestions. I'm thinking true to size is the way to go, but let's check that out real quick. All right, so I've got them on feet, and like I said, true to size is the way to go. These fit very, very well. I have wide feet. They might even be a little bit roomy for people that have narrow feet, but these fit my feet like a glove. These feel really, really good on foot. True to size is definitely what I would recommend. They feel nice. It's a firm cushion. They're not like super, super soft or anything, but I like the shape of the footbed in there. As far as the look goes, this looks like something that could have been from my childhood, and I'm definitely into that. They're nice and plain, but then you have that bright pump button there on the tongue, and I just think these are dope. I think they're unique. It's something different, something that you don't see everybody wearing, and being bright white and a low top, I think they'll be ideal for summertime. Takes me back, you know. And just with that, I can feel the airbags filling up here on the tongue. I was a little bit nervous whenever I first saw these and ordered them that maybe it would just be for looks and that maybe the pump wouldn't work at all, but I'm very glad that they do actually function. There's a little POV. I am really happy with the way these came out. It's just something different. I get tired of wearing the same old, same old. All right, y'all, well, I appreciate y'all watching. I'm a big fan of these. I know there's not any hype to them or anything, but that kind of makes me like them more. You know, sometimes you want to go against the flow and you don't want to look like everybody else. And I think these are a great pair of shoes for the summertime. Let me know what you all think about them. I appreciate y'all watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.